Hey, what's going on, everybody? In today's video, I'm talking about why I choose the foods that I do and if there's any kind of foods that I restrict when intermittent fasting. Hey, what's going on? My name is Ryan Johnson from Intermittent Fasting with Ryan, and over the last 2 years, I've lost 60 pounds and maintained my weight loss with intermittent fasting. If you're new here and interested in sustainable weight loss tips and strategies, be sure to click subscribe now. Hey, so I get this question a lot because mostly what I'm known for are these shorts and these videos of everything that I eat in a day. And if you have ever watched a few of those together, you'll see that my food choices vary greatly from day to day, and I eat a lot of different kind of foods. And I'm gonna talk to you a little bit today about why I choose the foods that I do. So first and foremost, when it comes to my food choices, the first thing on my mind is sustainability, and that is very different than any other diet or weight loss plan I have done in the past. I used to eat food solely based off of whether or not it was moving me towards my weight loss goal. And generally in the past, again, I've lost the same 40 to 60 pounds more times than I can count. Anytime that I have focused on food with the end result being weight loss, I have been able to lose the weight. But the downside is I can only keep that up for so long, and then I fall back into my normal eating habits and likes, dislikes, things like that, so that I end up putting the weight back on. So with my intermittent fasting journey and my own weight loss journey, whenever I'm considering what foods I'm going to eat, one of the things that is at the forefront is sustainability. If I eat this, am I going to be able to continue to eat like this, lose weight, move towards my goals, and live a healthy, balanced life? So sometimes that means, you know, am I eating a chicken and a salad? Is this sustainable? And when you look at what I've been doing over the last few months, I fit them in occasionally, and for me, yes, that is sustainable. The other thing that I think about is when it comes to key lime pie, sweets, sugars, carbs, I do eat those, but I don't eat them all the time. And when I look and think, is that sustainable? The answer is also yes. Now here's the tough part, and this is going to come down to the individual person. What you can tolerate and what works for your body is going to be a little different for everybody. Some people are more sensitive to carbs where others are not. I personally know I don't like to eat too many carbs every day because it will affect my weight, and it also affects my mood and my lethargy. You know, if I eat a lot of carbs, especially early in a day, I will not be good for the rest of that day. Meaning, you know, if I have French fries and a hamburger at 1 o'clock because I'm doing a 17-hour fast, when it comes to my food choices later in the day, they will tend to not be as good because I have that insulin spike and drop, which has me craving more carbs. So while I do like to eat carbs, the way that I fit them in a sustainable way is if I'm going to have a lot of carbs, I like to have it in a single meal. So like on Friday nights, we do pizza around our house, 1 meal a day. There's a lot of carbs in that pizza, but it's okay because I'm gonna eat that pizza between 6 and 8 o'clock at night. I'm gonna go to bed between 9 and 10. I'm not gonna crave more food because I'm gonna go to bed with a full stomach. So that's one of the ways that I fit carbs in, is with an eye towards sustainability. Now, on a day where I'm doing a shorter fast, like 16 hours, on those days I tend to eat higher protein, higher fat meals because I know if I eat carbs earlier in the day, I'm going to crave carbs and I'm gonna have that crash. So I don't restrict any types of foods. I just try to consider what is going to work for me in the long term, and some of that means I need to experiment. Now, one of the other things that you will notice when it comes to me selecting my food choices is I know that the overall healthiness of everything that I eat is not necessarily the healthiest. It's not for optimal nutrition. It's not the best for fast weight loss. Fast weight loss is not my goal. Sustainable is. So what that looks like is over the course of months and years, I'm slowly starting to incorporate healthier and healthier foods. More whole foods, single ingredient meals versus processed foods, but I'm doing it a little bit at a time. Again, all going back to this idea of sustainability, because I know that if I make a wholesale change and change all my food to the healthiest food, I'm only going to be able to maintain that for a little bit because I'm using my willpower to make the change. What I want to do is build the habits of selecting healthy foods. The other thing that I like to do is I don't like to tell myself that there are any foods that are off limits, because if I were to say that a food is off limits, even with carbs, for example, I know I don't respond best with carbs, but if I tell myself that I can't have it, what ends up happening with me is I end up fixating on it. You know, tell a kid that they can't have something and that's all they think about. And a lot of the times I am just a big kid, so if I were to tell myself that I can't have ice cream or I can't have key lime pie, I'm gonna go through the entire day fantasizing and thinking about this thing that I can't have and thinking about how terrible it is. And that's not a way to live. That's not a way to live sustainably. So instead, I allow myself to eat anything. And what I find is that when I allow myself to have it, I give myself permission to have any kind of food, there's plenty of times that I don't choose it. Fast food is a great example. I love a fast food hamburger and french fries. Whataburger, I am a huge fan of a double Whataburger with cheese, jalapenos, a large fry, and a milkshake from Whataburger. I can absolutely have that. I haven't told myself that I'm not allowed to. I would like to fit it into my plan, but that's not an off-limits food for me. But I don't choose it all the time. I hardly ever choose it, but knowing that it is an option kinda takes my fixation off of it. So that is something absolutely to consider when you are deciding which foods you're going to eat and which foods you're going to fit into your diet. If your diet doesn't look like right now what you think you want it to look like, or if your diet doesn't look like what you want it to right now, figure out those things that you would want to be eating. So for me, it's that less processed whole foods, and try to work those in a little bit at a time. Don't restrict any kinds of foods. You may choose foods less often, but don't restrict it and say you can't have anything. For me personally, that's a recipe for disaster. So much of this weight loss is about our mental approach and what we do and how we think about things to get to our end result. It's way more than calories in, calories out, and what are the best kind of macronutrients, because the science is already out there. We know what we have to do to lose weight. The thing that we need to figure out is how do we actually do that and make it sustainable. So that's kind of my take on food choices. If you want to see some of the things that I have been eating, I'll leave a playlist on the screen here now. You can check out some of the foods that I was eating, and this is actually what I had and was eating over a year ago with intermittent fasting. And you can kind of see how my food choices have changed over time, slowly. And remember, we're not looking to lose weight fast, we're looking to lose weight forever. Thanks again, and I will catch you in the next video.